And if you look at different area codes, for example, L6R, they're paying $3,300. And so that's 123% higher than the provincial average. And so, after a lot of discussion with our residents, and for the past 6 years, we finally decided that we have to do something. So I put a motion forward to our council.
Welcome to the GREWALZ show. मैं ਤੁਹਾਡਾ host Gurinder Singh Grewal. ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ. Today I have the pleasure of having Gurpreet Dhillon, Regional Councillors, Wards 9 and 10, City of Brampton, with me through Skype. Welcome, Mr. Dhillon, to the GREWALZ show.
Thank you for having me, Baji.
Well, it seems so interesting that you're sitting in a car, and today, Mr. Dhillon, we'll be talking about car insurance, auto insurance in Ontario, especially in Brampton. Now, having said that, we all know that you are a Bramptonian from so many years, and I'm sure you pay a really high premium for car insurance. What can you tell us about car insurance in Brampton?
Well, I can tell you that in Ontario, Ontario itself is the province that pays the highest car insurance rates out of any province or territory in Canada. And Brampton is the city in Ontario that pays without a question, the highest insurance rates on average. So that makes us the highest paying city in terms of auto insurance in the entire country. And so the average here is about $2,700. The Ontario average is $1,500. And if you look at different area codes, for example, L6R, they're paying $3,300. And so that's 123% higher than the provincial average. And so it's something that's to be very concerned about, because a lot of the people who talk to me say, hey, we don't even have any accidents. We don't have any tickets. And why is our insurance rates going high? So a couple of weeks back, after a lot of discussion with our residents, and for the past 6 years, we finally decided that we have to do something. So I put a motion forward to our council, and I said, listen, what we need to do is start a campaign. This will include awareness campaign. This will include a petition to create some noise and let the province know that, hey, listen, we're not going to take it anymore. And so I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks when the campaign and the details will be released and launched.
So, Mr. Dhillon, like you're a regional councillor with the City of Brampton. Why was the need that a regional councillor has to do something and not the MPPs?
Well, I think we need to have a collective voice in the City of Brampton, and whenever we pass some type of motion or anything we do in terms of saving our residents' money, a lot of the times the question comes up, yeah, but what are you doing about car insurance? And rather than us saying, hey, listen, it's not our jurisdiction, I thought it was appropriate that we fight for our residents. And so the same way we've advocated for healthcare in terms of the underfunding and the unfair treatment that we've received. We started a website called fairdealforbrampton.ca, and so that's the intent of my motion, to make sure fairdealforbrampton.ca, that campaign gets expanded to also include auto insurance. And so what we'll do is, as I mentioned, we're going to have a petition. We're going to have the campaign that's going to spread awareness, some of the facts, some of the numbers, and we're going to let the province know that we can't tolerate this unfairness anymore, and that our Brampton residents have suffered enough, and so we want to make sure that we get a fair deal.
The big question remains, Mr. Dhillon, is that can the City Council change car insurance premiums in Brampton?
The province can regulate car insurance premiums. The City of Brampton, what we can do is advocate. And so our responsibility is obviously the health of our residents, but ensuring that they're in a good financial situation as well. So anywhere where we can be a voice for them, we're definitely going to do so. It's not in our hands per se. It's not our jurisdiction. But there's a bill currently that's sitting in Parliament that was put forth by MPP Parm Gill. It's Bill 42, which will look into getting rid of postal code discrimination. And so for a past number of years, nothing's been done. A long time ago, the province told the insurance companies, you can split the province up into 55 different parts, the geographical regions, and in Toronto and 10 of those regions. And so if you're stuck in one of those regions that's paying a high insurance rate, you're going to be penalized. And so when they get rid of that, we're hopeful that it will relieve some of the anxiety and the stress that a lot of our residents do have.
So, Mr. Dhillon, you being the regional councillor and the city council is all in support of lowering car insurance in Brampton, what about your friends in the legislature? We have MPPs from the Conservatives and we have MPPs from the NDP. Are they all with you in this whole situation?
Well, we invite them to be with us. And so when the campaign actually comes out, right now we're getting the logistics and the setup ready. We're hopeful that they'll be able to join in on this campaign. So this is the first time the cities have taken an official stance. We've heard a lot of our MPPs try before. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give our effort now. And so we're hopeful that we can get a significant amount of signatures, create awareness, and hopefully, the ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈ ਜਾਊਗੀ ਜੀ।
ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਹੋਊਗੀ, ਇਹ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਕੱਲੀ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਤੇ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ?
ਮੈਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ different languages ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਊਗੀ। And so, like I said, right now we're working on the logistics of it. ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ outreach ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ engage ਕਰਨਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ top 3 languages ਨੇ aside from English, ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ, Urdu ਤੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। And so we're going to ensure that we get the message out in their languages, but at the same time, any type way we can, whether it's a flyer, whether it's doing an ad, or whether it's any other type of correspondence, we're going to make sure and try to get it in their language. But for the most part, most locally English ਸਮਝ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਜੀ।
ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਾਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਸ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜ ਸਕਦੇ?
Go to fairdealforbrampton.ca. You'll see there the work that we did for our healthcare. And when we talk about the provincial funding, we're so underfunded. We have some of the least amount of hospital rooms and beds per capita. And so people were becoming really aware of that. And so we're hopeful that the provincial government will put the funding for the second hospital in. And so advocacy does work. And so that's the same intent that we have now for this campaign, is that we expand on fairdealforbrampton.ca. And so in a couple of weeks, you can check it out now, you'll see the healthcare stuff. In a couple of weeks' time, you'll be able to really see all that information required that you need. You'll be able to find out information how you can contact your MPP and what else you can do to get the message out that Brampton needs its fair deal when it comes to auto insurance.
Yeah, but Mr. Dhillon, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਕਿਹਾ advocacy works, Brampton fair deal ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ Brampton never got a second hospital. There's no word of a second hospital. There's no money for the second hospital. So what happened to that advocacy for so many years? Well,
like I said, we are hopeful that in the next budget, for the provincial budget, that we'll be able to get that second hospital. And I'd also like to point out as well, we are doing what we can on the municipal level. There's, when you post something on Facebook or Twitter, people say, hey, it's not going to work, or this is not your level. But, if we don't do something, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But if you don't do something, people say, why aren't you advocating it? But our main intent is that we feel on a council level, we every day see the struggles and the pains people go through. And that's why we kept our city portion of the tax increase at 0% this year. It was 1% on the regional level. Obviously, Mississauga has the majority of the votes there. So we got it down to 1% there, but the city, it's going to be 0. And so we're doing what we can do. And as much pressure as we can put on the provincial government, that's, it's still not enough, but we're going to keep trying. But, we've had so many MPPs here in the past number of years. We expect them to continue to push, and we want to work with them, whether they're in the opposition or whether in power right now.
Well, thank you for being on the GREWALZ show, Mr. Dhillon. Anything else you want to add at the end?
Yeah, just firstly, I just want to say thanks for having the opportunity to come on the show. You always have a great variety of topics and a number of different guests that you have. So I want to say thanks for giving me the opportunity. And if anybody at home wants to contact me, they can email me at gurpreet.dhillon@brampton.ca, or they can call me at 905-874-2609 to speak about the insurance issue or any other issue that you'd like to speak about.
Well, thank you for watching the GREWALZ show. Until next time, stay safe, stay home, and also watch us on Punjab Star, the YouTube, or Google the GREWALZ show, and you'll watch all our shows. And let us know who else you want to have as a guest on our show, and we will make sure that individual, that politician will come on our show. Until next time, Sat Shri Akal.